Hello everyone. As commercial buying and sourcing teams, the biggest challenge we face today is not having the visibility on how the real world we operate in looks like. This video on fiber to fabric will give you an idea of how a fiber is transformed into fabric through different processes. In the part 2 version of Fiber to Fashion, which will be made available to you in the coming weeks, you will also see each individual process explained in detail. In spinning, we would be looking at the most essential element, which is the base raw material. In this case, we would be looking into cotton, as we are about to see the cotton spinning process. Raw cotton will be automatically plucked by the first blowroom machine called automatic bale plucker. From here, a series of machineries are involved to open and clean the raw cotton. In the blowroom, high pressure air is passed through the fibers to clean cotton seeds and impurities. Carding is the heart of spinning process. It involves a machine called card. Cotton received from shoot feeding gets fed into this machine. The main function of carding machine is to remove neps. Neps are entanglements of fibers which need to be removed to manufacture good quality yarn. Once these slivers are collected from the carding machine, these are sent to the next process called drawing. Slivers collected from carding machines are put together and is drawn to make bigger spools or wound laps. Combing process is an additional process to reduce the short staple fibers and also to remove the minor impurities or neps, which results in getting us the combed cotton, which is being referred as the best quality cotton across the industry. The fly frame machine is used to convert the draw frame sliver into a thin material called roving. This material contains a mild amount of twist to withstand the subsequent process called ring frame. Spinning process is done by the machine called ring frame. Ring frame converts the bobbins into yarns. The bobbins taken from the previous process fly frame is mounted on the ring frame either automatically or manually. Once the twist is imparted, the material is converted into yarn. These yarns are then subsequently wound on packages called bobbins or cop. In yarn dyeing, the yarn received from spinning is first rewinded to mesh cones. Purpose of doing this is to make sure the yarns are dyed with complete exposure to the dyes and to have uniformity in dyeing. Once the yarn is rewinded to the metal mesh cones, these are placed into the cheese dyeing stacker and then it's loaded to dyeing vessels. After loading the dyeing stacker to the dyeing vessel, dyes and other dyeing chemicals are added to the machine, and this process lasts up to 8 to 10 hours depending on the depth of the color required. Dyed yarns are taken out and put into hydro extractor, which helps in removing water from the yarns. Room dryer is used to extract the remaining water and to make sure it's ready for rewinding. The yarn is now ready for rewinding. Rewinding is done on the paper cones and then sent for warping process. Weaving requires both warp beam and weft cones to make the complete fabric. In weaving, the initial process would be warping. Warp beam is prepared by warping process where yarns are wound into a beam. Number of yarns in a beam depends on ends per inch required for a particular quality. Length of the wound will be based on total order quantity and other allowances. Sizing is carried out to withstand the yarn strength while weaving in a high-speed loom. Yarns are coated with sizing plate, which is starch, to give additional strength. This process is only applicable for single yarn counts like 30s and 40s. This process is not applicable for double counts like 240s or 260s. During fabric finishing, the starch will be removed by de-sizing process. Drawing is a process where the warp beams yarns are drawn with heeled wires, also called as reed heads, are used to bring out the required weave. This is a manual process and time taken for this ranges between 5 to 8 hours, which also depends on the design or pattern of the weave. There are various looms available in market, such as shuttle looms, which are also called as hand looms and power looms. Shuttle-less looms, which are called as raper, adjet, and water looms. We will be looking into how one of the rapers loom works in this video. In this type of weaving, the weft yarn is passed from one end to end using rapers which run at a speed of 200 to 600 rpm. Finally, the woven fabric is folded, inspected, and packed to move into garment production. In knitting, for different types of fabrics, we have various types of knitting machines available in the market. Knitting is generally classified as circular knitting and flat knitting. In this video, we are seeing how a circular knitting machine functions. In circular knitting, we have two major fabric classifications, single jerseys and double jerseys. This is a single jersey fabric under knitting. As we have seen in woven fabric, we need warp and weft yarn to make the fabric, whereas in knits, it's only warp yarn which is used to make the fabric. Knitting machines are used to make knitted fabric or garment, for example, seamless garments. A knitting machine forms loops of yarns and connects them into various knit loops, forming the fabric. The fabric received from knitting in roll form is relaxed by laying it flat and also inspected before sending into dyeing. This undyed ready fabric is called as grage fabric. There are different ways of dyeing, for example, soft flow, continuous dye process, etc. Dyeing is the process where the grage fabric is taken into dyeing vessel and adding color to the fabric or yarn. In this video, we are looking at a soft flow dyeing process. Dyeing is done with special dyes and chemicals to achieve desired colors to the base fabric or yarn. This machine is called slit opener, which helps in cutting the tubular fabric in vertical form to get the open width fabric. If you take a closer look, this machine identifies the drop needle and exactly cuts the fabric on this area. Drop needle is created during the knitting process. Compacting is a process in which the dyed fabric is passed through a heat chamber in order to control the shrinkage of the fabric. This process also helps in drying the fabric. All types of knitted fabrics are necessary to go through this process. After slit opening, fabric has to be dried and heat set. This process is used mainly for spandex products. Here, the fabric is passed through a heat chamber where the temperature is maintained between 200 to 230 degrees Celsius. And finally, the dried fabric is collected at the other end with the help of a roller. Individual videos are available for all the below processes, which we'll be sharing with you all in the part 2 versions of Fiber to Fashion. Thank you.